For most teenagers, the world is an exciting place. It's something to be discovered, explored, and understood. There are people who look at the world and don't see problems, but rather the opportunities that we have to learn from one another. They see efforts for social change and integration of community and culture and strive to contribute to that force of positive change. One program that gives teenagers this opportunity is Amigos de las Americas. Throughout the United States, students are committing themselves to dedicating a summer in Latin America in order to broaden their perspectives, immerse themselves in a culture different from their own, and to become lifelong catalysts for change.
I think that Amigos gives kids at a very young age an experience that is difficult to capture in other ways, and the core values and missions of Amigos is leadership by youth, and having every single youth have an opportunity to be involved in leadership.
I first heard about the Amigos program through my Spanish class because there's a girl in my Spanish class who did Amigos last summer, and just the first day of Spanish class she started talking about how incredible of a time she had had in the Dominican Republic and about how she felt so connected to the people there, and she just felt like her life was there.
I think that when we first interview potential volunteers in the fall, they're kind of excited but shy and overwhelmed, and then they go through some of the training and they're sometimes scratching their head like, wait a minute, is this all necessary? And then they have their summer experiences and they come back and they have a newfound understanding of what the training meant and what it could have meant for them in the process.
I think that through training I've definitely become more confident in just sort of like voicing my ideas about things, and also I definitely think I've learned a lot of ways to sort of approach different situations, and we talk a lot about that, and I guess a lot of situations I would have had no idea how to approach otherwise.
This year I have grown a lot through training. I think I'm more aware about different cultures, I'm less assuming, and I'm just more conscious about more cultures, and also I think I've become a better leader. I'm more confident with my Spanish speaking skills and just with speaking skills in general.
Well, the basic mission statement of Amigos is they believe that every youth should have an opportunity to experience leadership, and they believe in providing opportunities for that to happen.
I was a volunteer in Paraguay in 2011 for 8 weeks.
And I was a volunteer in Oaxaca, Mexico in 2011 for 8 weeks as well.
I feel like I've grown as a leader by being able to work with big groups and knowing how to plan for different kinds of events, and working with people in communities, like people older than me in positions of power, and I feel like I can be more professional with them than I could without doing Amigos.
I feel like I just gained a lot of confidence from working with kids and with high up figures in the community. A lot of that was really intimidating, especially doing it in Spanish. And I feel like my main, how I got a lot of confidence was just from making mistakes and learning that it was okay to mess up in front of large groups and everything would be fine.
I was a volunteer in Oaxaca, Nicaragua in 2011 for 7 weeks. I feel that I've immensely grown as a leader in so many ways, because Amigos just puts you into a position where you have no context. You don't know what you're doing, you don't know who you're with, and it just forces you into a role where the only thing you can do is really just thrive from it. So I feel if I was put into a position like that again, I'd do very well.
What inspired me to serve on the Amigos board is, first of all, I got involved for 2 years when my son was a volunteer in the summers of 1994 and 95. But overwhelmingly, the reason was the growth that I saw in the volunteers who went to Latin America, learned projects, did projects in a different language, a different culture, normally with a different generation that they had to work with, the leaders in the rural village that they went to. and the amount of confidence and growth they made as leaders to develop leadership of our youth here in the Portland area was the major inspiration. There were a lot of other things, but that was the number one thing.
Well, it's rewarding to know that the current training directors of our chapter were involved when my daughter was a volunteer, and now they're actually back in that leadership ladder being training directors, and one of them is actually a project director for this summer. So that makes me proud and keeps me involved.
I'm most looking forward to just getting to experience life in a completely different way than I have here ever before.
I'm just really excited to live with a new culture and live with my host family and be immersed.
I guess, what am I not looking forward to this summer? I'm so excited. I think I'm really looking forward to becoming close with my host family and sort of having like a family away from Portland and just sort of experiencing that culture that I think will be really different, but also being able to find all the similarities.